How you doing, everybody? It's your boy Wardy, and as you can see, we're back at it talking about the Amazons. We're also back at it with a late night upload because at the time of recording this, it's around 1 a.m. Eastern, December 10th, because the grind never stops here in WardyNYM. Anytime there's news, rumors to cover, we're going to be talking about it as fast as humanly possible. So if you could smash that like and subscribe button for your boy, it'd be the best and easiest way to support the channel, and thank you all so much in advance. But I'm pumped up to get in this one because we have a big report that came out, and of course, make sure to check out previous content, the latest on Yoshinobu Yamamoto, Shohei Ohtani signing with the Dodgers, all that fun stuff. Make sure to check it out after watching this one. But the big report that we saw earlier today, initially from Tim Healy there of Newsday, but reaffirmed here from SNY, states the following: Francisco Alvarez is reportedly interested in a long-term extension with the Mets. I want to see your initial reactions, thoughts, comments, questions, and concerns down below, because for me, I'm pumped. We have all been crying for the Mets to start to have this Atlanta Braves type philosophy by going out and not only having young, really exciting talent in Alvarez, in which he had a breakout rookie season with the power. Yes, he dipped off quite a bit towards the end of the season, but I'll expand on that a little bit later in here in this episode. But I really want to highlight how the Atlanta Braves are a great example of a club that has done this for multiple years, as is the case with many other teams, including now the Milwaukee Brewers. So it makes a lot of sense to finally start to hop on this bandwagon, this type of train where you have young talent, you know the type of market you're dealing with free agency if he eventually hits there and really progresses the way you expect him to. So why not extend these guys on longer term, lower AAV deals that are going to both benefit the club and benefit the player for the next 5 to 10 plus years? That's what makes this so appealing. And thankfully, David Stearns, during his time as assistant GM with the Houston Astros, and then most recently as GM in Pobo there in Milwaukee, has been very open and interested in these type of extensions for young talent, especially knowing that you can, again, help your chances of keeping said players on longer term type deals. Hopefully, Alvarez could be not only the future of the Mets backstop position, but their catcher for the next decade plus. And this becomes a greater reality now as he has this interest and wanting to be extended. One, thank you, Alvy, for having the interest. Love that. I know you would love the bag. I know you love the thought of potentially getting some of your pre-arbitration or RBers bought out, because that is what is very appealing for these young talents, because again, they still have a lot to prove, but the upside for them is they're getting more immediate money sooner. And for the club that signs these deals, the upside is that as long as they progress the way that they're expected to, it's going to look like a bargain and then some between Ozzy Albies and his 7-year, $37 million extension when he was a young, and Ronald Acuna Jr., 8 years, $100 million contracts, both the biggest bargain contracts in all of baseball. And most recently, the top prospect there for the Milwaukee Brewers signing an 8-year, $86 million extension when the guy has yet to even play a game. Corbin Carroll, his $100 million extension before the season began when he was still officially a rookie. Like, these are the type of moves that a lot of smart organizations make, and it's time for the Mets to hop on this wagon, and now feels like the perfect time to do exactly that. So in case you're wondering how Alvarez's 2023 campaign went, again, it wasn't the prettiest season. He came out guns a-blazing after his first month and a half or so was pretty slow. He was swinging at everything as he was really an emergency call-up with the injury to Omar Narvaez. But once he got comfortable, he became one of the best hitters in baseball for a couple months stretch. The guy was slugging bombs, it felt like, every other day for a multi-week span. Unfortunately, in a lot of efforts in which the Mets lost those games, but not because of Alvarez. You see from the stat line down below, 51 runs scored, 25 home runs, not 63 RBIs, 284 OBP, not 384. That was an error on my mistake. 437 slug for still a over 700 OPS, a roughly 3-WAR player already at the young age of 21, now 22, and a 97 WRC plus, which means he's just below the league average hitter in his first true rookie season. Why is that a standout? The kid hit 25 bombs as a 21, now to be 22-year-old. That's a huge deal. The Mets have desperately been needing power outside of Alonso and Lindor in this lineup, and Alvy proved that he can be exactly that. Yes, he has a lot more discipline he needs to work on. He has high whiff rates. His expected batting average was horrendous, one of the worst in baseball. But still, when you look at how the season ended for the Mets, a lot of players, including Alvarez, clearly looked deflated. It was meaningless baseball. I firmly believe things would have been different if the Mets were in a playoff race post-trade deadline instead of them really throwing in the towel and saying, hey, we're done with 2023. I have the utmost confidence in Alvarez and his future. That's why he's on the wall behind me. I've had him on the wall behind me prior to him even getting any reps this season at the major league level. So I've been on the Alvy hype train for a long period of time. time, as has been the case with many of you fellow fans, and lock him up on, say, an additional 5-year extension when he already has 5 years left of control right now on his contract before he would hit the free agent market. Give him, say, a 5-year deal at minimum, a 5 to 7 year deal, anywhere between 7 or 8 mil AAV. I think that's very reasonable for both sides because, again, you still have a lot to figure out with Alvarez. He needs to really hone in and get more mature with his strike zone and how he can really discipline himself. But when he's right, you know the power's there, you know the utmost potential. And the biggest thing with Alvarez, and this is a key factor in why you want him as your long-term catcher as long as he continues to produce. We've seen the high contact ability when he's hot. Yes, he has his slumps just like any other slugger, but that's normal. His defense has truly been elite. 95th percentile in framing among catchers. One of the best defensive catchers this season. Mind you, when his biggest criticism heading into the year was his defensive ability. Could he step up defensively? And the belief was that no, he could not. He exceeded those expectations and then some, to the point where he is clearly the Mets starting catcher for 2024, 2025, and hopefully the next decade plus. But if you can land a 22-year-old on a 5-year extension, how would you not be excited about that? The idea, whether you buy out those years or not. If you do, then of course I would say I want to definitely go more than 5 years per se, but you have potential here to get him extended and have him under team control for 8, 9, 10 plus years. I don't know about you, but as a Mets fan, as someone that's been following Alvarez since he was in single A ball, I would love that. This is the exact type of moves that smart organizations make. Yes, of course there's risk involved, but Steve Cohen has made it clear he's willing to eat money if things do not go his way on a much larger scale. I think he would be more than willing to handle a Francisco Alvarez situation where you're buying in on him right now, not now, but also for the future. And again, the upside for the player is he has a chance to have more immediate money faster, which of course Alvarez doesn't hate the idea of having, hence why he wants the extension. 2, Alvarez is showing that he wants to be here long term. This early on, this is what's going to help draw players going forward, and internal talent that the Mets develop. It will help give them further reason to want to stay. Alvarez can be the first example of many of young Mets prospects being called up, having immediate success, and wanting to be here long term. This is the exact type of culture that you want to build, and thankfully for the Mets here, we have a new Pobo and David Stearns, who is not only very familiar with these type of extensions during his past with the Astros and the Brewers alike, but he has an interest, a willingness. When speaking recently, as you will see from the article in Newsday, I'll link it down below as well with the SNY one, he has made it known just overall when discussing extensions that that's something he favors, that is something that he is interested in. So if you're the Mets here, you have to jump on this as soon as humanly possible. Again, there's no rush here. I will not be shocked if we don't see an extension at some point this offseason. Could happen maybe midseason as well. Point is, if you can extend Francisco Alvarez at any point from now or the next calendar year, that would be nothing short of a massive win for the Mets. It's hard to look at that and say that, no, that would be the wrong decision when you know the potential here with Alvarez as a lock of a 30-plus home run bat at 22 years of age at the backstop position, arguably the best slugging catcher in baseball already, up there with a lot of the big guns. Yes, the contact, yes, the discipline, and the ability to take walks more is imperative, and that's something that he's going to continue to work on, but he's 22 years of age. Just imagine how Alvarez is not only going to project, but look, 2, 3, 4, 5 years from now, even next season, I have big expectations for Alvarez. I firmly believe he's going to live up to them, even with the big swing and miss that he has and the type of bat that he is. So Mets fans, whoever you're a fan of, I want to know, what is your initial reactions to the news that, yes, Francisco Alvarez likes the idea of being extended long-term by the New York Metropolitans? Do you think this would be the right move or the wrong move? However you're feeling, let me know down below. And what type of extension do you think could make sense for Alvarez and the Mets to meet in the middle on? Whatever those thoughts are, drop them again. Thank you all so much for the endless support. Stay tuned for more consistent content. We have another video and live stream at minimum coming out over the next day or so, so stay tuned for all of it as we're covering everything to a T regarding the New York Metropolitans and Yoshinobu Yamamoto in particular all off season long. Thank you again, folks, and as always, let's go Mets, baby. Peace out.